Let's see how my colors are all green. So let's hope it stays green. Again, you never know with YouTube, especially with Adpocalypse 3.0 happening right now. All right, it's going over there. I can close that out. And it looks green over here. Let's see if anybody's going to stop in. Wait for some people to get here. Yeah, here we go. We got some people. All right, let's go ahead and pull the picture down. And see what we got in the room here. What's up, guys? Hey, everybody. Me and Paigey, as usual. Our other two members are usually asleep this time of night, so at least I think they are.
Ben's up on Twitter spawn the crossover for everyone.
I saw that. Like I think he posted two things, and I was like, "That's kind of spoilery." The two things he posted. I'm gonna have to scold him about that later on. What's up, everybody? How are you guys doing? Excuse me, I'm very parched. So I'm gonna drink out of my Batman cup. Okay, so just a warning. I posted it above the thing here. We are going to be talking spoilers. So if you have not seen the episode and you're watching this on playback, you know. And if you're watching it live and you see the thing that says spoilers and you still decide to stick around, then oh well.
That's your own fault.
Right. Okay, so let's dive into this. We're gonna save the big detailed stuff once we see the second half of it tomorrow night. So for now, we're just going to talk about what we kind of know from tonight's episodes, episodes. I almost said episode because it did feel like one long episode. But we'll talk about that here, and then we'll answer some questions. And this is probably not going to be as long as our usual one, simply because there's a lot of stuff that we're waiting for the next episode to explain. And I was pleased with quite a bit of it. Did have some nitpicks. We'll talk about that.
As per usual.
Yeah, as usual. And I'm sure I'll get hate from it. I gain a couple subs a day and lose a couple subs a day because of my nitpicks. Also, Paigey's video will be going up. Wait, is it already up or is it uploading now?
It literally went up just now.
Okay.
So if people want to save that for later, then do that.
Yeah. Paigey's video is up now. So if you're watching us live here and you just want to talk with us, you can do that. Oh, I just got a spike in lag there. That was weird. That's very weird.
Hacked.
No, I mean, it's been fine every week. I don't understand what's going on. Let me just double check. Okay, it says I'm good. So we'll keep going. So yeah, Paigey's review is up now. You can watch it because like I said, this isn't going to be a very long live stream. We'll do a longer one tomorrow. And my review will be up in the morning. And I think, Paigey, didn't you say you're doing it the same way I'm doing it? We're doing both episodes as one review, right? That's the way you're doing it?
Yeah, that's why it's a longer review. It says part 1, but I'm not including these as like part 1 and part 2. I see this Supergirl and Arrow as part 1 because it just went straight into the next episode. It wasn't like a day break or something.
Right. Let's talk about that for a second because that's something that I think is a good thing this time. It seems like it flowed seamlessly from one episode to the next, which was a huge criticism of the crossover last year, was that everything felt sort of segmented.
I think it's smarter this way just because not everyone can watch TV every night.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it works better. Even if like people just saved all of this and then watched all 4 episodes tomorrow night,
Mm-hmm.
even if that way, it'd be smarter. But if someone does it this way, they have to wait like 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess last year it was 3 days because Supergirl didn't count. But either way, they have to wait 3 days to watch all the episodes as one if they wanted to do that, or vice versa if they just wanted to watch an episode a day. You're committing 3 days of watching TV.
Right.
So I think it's just smarter to do it this way, and it's a much longer story, and it actually makes it worthwhile sitting down and committing time to watch it if you're a busy person because you get 2 hours worth of TV entertainment per night.
Mm-hmm.
So it just seems smarter, and I reckon they'll stay this way. Even if Arrow moves back to its old night, and it's like 3 nights in a row, or wherever Legends goes after Black Lightning comes back, I reckon they'll still make it. They'll just swap everything around and make it a 2-night crossover because I reckon the ratings are going to be much better this season.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that that tomorrow night's going to be the same way. The episodes are going to flow the same way they did tonight, like the 2 of them back to back.
Yeah.
So let's see. The chat room is full of questions about so many things. So many things. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with the talk a little bit about the intro. And it's probably lagging because the chat room is so active. I'm guessing that's probably what it is. So I felt like the beginning of the episode, the cinematography felt much more movie-like, I guess you could say, in the four beginning, like the four scenes where we had our heroes sort of talking about the wedding. Like the fight scene between Flash and King Shark, the scene with Supergirl versus the Dominator that was there, Arrow fighting the ninjas, and then we had the Legends back in what was like 1183 or something, something like that.
Yeah,
it was
the 12th century somewhere. I can't remember what the exact name was.
And what I mean by more, like, I guess more movie-like was the fact that they had the ship fly in over the head while Martin Stein was talking. And that's a scene you would not get in like a weekly episode. That's a scene that's super expensive to do. And Flash versus King Shark felt, I don't know, it felt more cinematic to me. And actually the whole thing felt that way with the exception of a few.
Like even just like King Shark, like flicking him away and he smashes through the walls.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't do that in a normal episode.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people were saying, how did King Shark get out of Argus?
Didn't they? Someone was telling me that you got a super chat. Someone was telling me on Twitter that on the Bachelor's night, I think they joked about letting King Shark out of Argus. I don't know if that's true because it went over my head if that happened. But
yeah.
Did that? I don't know if anyone wants to let me know in the comments. Is that happening or is someone just trolling me?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It was such a passing thing. I guess a lot of people didn't notice it because I thought about it, but then I was like,
You could even argue the same. Like, why is there a Dominator on Earth on Supergirl's Earth?
It says, where did Arrow get Kryptonite on Earth 1, and how did Jax not know about other Earths? Supergirl they've met before. Thank you for the super chat, Amir. I appreciate it. We'll go ahead and answer those because those are kind of just ambiguous questions. How did Arrow get Kryptonite on Earth 1? I'm assuming that Krypton exists in the Earth 1 universe, but the story of Supergirl is not the same. So it's possible that they got it that way. That would be a nitpick for me because of the simple fact that they didn't really explain it. But I'm assuming Kryptonite exists on Earth 1. I'm going to guess it does.
Well, Harry sort of alludes to the fact that there should be a Kara on Earth 1.
Right.
He says there's 53 Earths, there should be 53 Kara.
I noticed that. So, yeah. And as far as Jax not knowing about other Earths in the multiverse, I don't understand. When I heard that comment, I thought the same thing. I was like, he doesn't know about that? How could he not know? Wasn't he's from the city where all of that originated from. So, yeah, that kind of was I don't know. That was like a throwaway line, but then I'm thinking, what purpose would it serve? Maybe I think that was okay. So thinking back, if I remember how that scene played out, I think that line was directly before Harry explained the multiverse theory. So I think that line was to set up the following line, right? Don't you think? I mean, I think that's what it was.
Yeah, it sounded like that's what it was. Like, I'm surprised they didn't give it to another character.
Yeah, they should have given it to another character. But maybe he didn't meet his line quota for the episode. They could have gave it to Wally, but because Wally, we can talk about Wally in a second.
I'm surprised with how much Firestorm was in. Like, really, like it's almost like they're setting up more Firestorm in the back half.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just the Legends episode, but I think it was all set up for that.
Yeah.
Church.
Yeah, you were getting a little breakup there because I guess your computer is doing some stuff still. Maybe. I don't know. That was weird because it was like pixelated, but everything's green on my side, so I guess it's just a connection thing.
Yeah. Is it okay now?
It's getting back. Yeah, it's coming back now.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. So where do we stop at? The intro to the thing. Okay. So let's talk about the fight scene in the church. So overall, I'm going to just come out and say this. I think that they did a lot more action in the first two episodes than I had expected them to do. Based on, I don't know what their budget was for this, but it seems like it was way, way, way higher than normal for these episodes. Because there was quite a bit of action, a lot of CGI, and I don't think they tried to cut corners at all. I felt like they went in. They were all in on the fight scenes. One of the things about the church was, though, some of the editing for me after the soldiers came into the church was a bit weird. In terms of like the guests and how they were exiting the building, like it's certain, like the soldiers came in, we see the heroes turn around, all the pews are still full of people. The soldiers start like firing, and then the people are gone, and then we see them again off to the side, and I'm like, okay, something doesn't make much sense there. Was I the only one? Did you notice that as well? I mean, I definitely noticed it.
I didn't like notice it first, but like now that I think about it, looking back, like I can see what you're talking about. Like I understand running around moving people, but like a lot of people disappear and change shots for the first time after the people came.
You might want to like, hey Paige, you might want to disconnect and reconnect again. For some reason, it's still pixelating. Just like like exit and come back into it.
Yeah, I will.
Or try that. Hopefully that fixes it. I was getting a weird, like, it was like reverberating on his Discord. Okay, so yeah, you there?
Are we all good?
It sounds better now. Yes.
Much like is it normal?
Yeah, normal? It's not pixelating at all. Yeah.
Okay, good. I think I was playing with the cord, with my hand, and that's why. Yeah.
Look, it says Paige became Metallo confirmed. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
just quickly on Metallo, did Metallo have like a female voice? Was I the only one that heard it, or is it? I don't know.
I don't think I'd pay much attention to it. You might be right. I'll have to go back and listen again.
But also, I'm annoyed with Metallo because there was no need to put Metallo on the poster. It would have been. I mentioned in my review. What a spoiler! Like, no need to put him on the poster. It would have been such a surprise.
Yeah, it would have been. I think some of the advertising, especially with all the leaked stuff that came out, I think kind of ruined a few surprises. Gosh, so many questions. You guys are overflowing us here. We're going to get to as much as we can. Trust me, we're going to get to it. So, Wally West. Let's go ahead and talk about Wally, because he was a big part of that first fight scene, and then that was it. Then he was done for the rest of the episode.
Yeah.
I have to say, Wally's fight scene was one of the coolest Flash things I've ever seen. Like, the way he was moving and then grabbing the bullets and throwing them back again. I thought, this is really cool. This is probably some stuff that he learned while he was away. And then, like, 2 scenes later, it's like, you know what, Wally? You're a speedster. You're probably more powerful than 90% of the people on our team. But we need you to go play babysitter and watch everybody else because reasons. They didn't even really give a good reason. What do you think about that, Paige? Because I know you talked about it in your review. What do you think about that?
Yeah. It was just like Wally, hero turned personal security detail. Like, that's what it was. And I don't like. Yeah, I agree. Like, his action scene was cool, running around with the bullets, and then even like catching the arrow and stuff like that, and like turning around and giving that look. Like, I thought, like, that's awesome. That's probably like the best Wally we've had ever.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it. And then all of next, like, what the next scene is like, oh no, Barry, oh no, not Barry, Wally. Just go babysit your dad and your future stepmom. Like, what? I was just so confused. I was like, that's so lame. Like, there's no like proper reason. Like, if they were being targeted and stuff like that, like, fair enough. Like, if they're being targeted, and like, but Wally could run across the country with them both in a hand, or put him in a car in Justice League style, push the car across the country, and then go, okay, I doubt they're going to come over here.
But the thing is,
like what?
I was saying, couldn't there have been somebody more qualified to be on guard detail than him? I mean, if you think about it, yeah, he's really powerful, but at the same time, isn't there a secure location that they could be that would be more helpful than just putting Wally on security detail? I mean,
yeah. Like, if anything, like, you would put Iris in security detail as well. Like, why wasn't Iris put in security detail?
Everyone who is not a superhero would be in protection. Because if you think about Felicity, it, Joe,
even like
Joe is more suited to protect someone than Felicity or Iris would be.
Yeah. It's Jesus Christ. You could argue for about an hour, like, just how dumb that whole thing was.
Yeah. And
done. You got to move on. Doesn't look like Wally's in the rest of the crossover.
well,
so.
here's my final thoughts on Wally, and I'll probably end up mentioning it again if they do some stupid stuff with him. But Wally was introduced as a plot device, and now they have nothing for him to do. That's pretty much what it is. He was introduced as a character to be used for something specific 2 seasons ago, and now they're done with him. Now they have nothing left for him to do. Why even bring him back? Like when he left a few episodes ago, why even bring him back? Just have him say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm dealing with something here. Have a great wedding." You know, I mean, that's the extent of having him around. I mean, he's not doing anything. And I thought after he made that statement before he left about people not noticing him, that maybe that meant the writers were going to start, you know, paying more attention to him. But that doesn't seem to be the case at all. So we'll just move on from that because I'm pretty salty about Wally anyway.
It gives you a headache thinking about it. If you
so I wrote some stuff. Let me go through because I've got a little list here. Let me go through my list and see. I wrote down some stuff that I want to talk about specifically so we wouldn't get too far off topic.
Are we avoiding Olicity in this conversation, or do you want to bring up the?
Oh no, we're gonna talk about that for sure. We're gonna talk about that for sure. So let's go ahead and talk about that now. Then we'll go ahead and talk about that right now. So
oh boy.
So we were worried about Olicity in this crossover and how it was going to affect what happened during the episode. And since it didn't really have much to do with the other stuff, it just kind of dealt with her and Oliver and whatnot, was that Felicity does not want to get married to Oliver. And I'm like, what? Are you serious? Like, what's going on here? I mean, wasn't she completely destroyed by everything that happened with Oliver? I just don't understand. She wants to be with him and be with William, but she doesn't want it to be legal. For what reason? Any thoughts on that? I mean,
it's just forced drama. It's just forced drama. That's all it is. That's the best way to put it. It's just like, oh, if she was like, yes, I'll get married, then okay, that plot line's done for this crossover until whenever they get married.
Right.
But now it basically sums up Olicity perfectly. Will they or won't they? It's like this crossover is going to be will they or won't they? And that's just summing up seasons, 3 onwards. You could argue maybe 2, but definitely just 3 onwards.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So I had several people on Twitter messaging me about this and talking about it, about how, of course, I was going to be the one to come in and poo-poo all the moments that were not action scenes, because I guess I'm the action person now for whatever reason. But I actually thought a lot of the moments that were not action were really well done in the 2 episodes.
Yeah, like Jackson Stein, I thought their moments were good.
Let's talk about that for a second. Jackson Stein had some of the best interactions they've ever had, period, on this crossover. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, where is this coming from? We haven't given these characters this much attention since they started on Legends, you know? And it wasn't even about being Firestorm, because all their moments together were basically just personal moments between the 2 of them.
Yeah, it was about their relationship and how, like, Jackson and their connection.
Right.
Like their non-Firestorm connection, just their personal connection.
And I thought, you know what? This, as much as I love it in the crossover, this felt like something that probably should have been addressed on their actual, like, you know, the regular show. Because now if you go back and you watch it, it's going to be like you have to go through the whole crossover before you go back to Legends again. Somebody's mentioning the fact that they like said Spider-Man. Like, yes, right. What's with the Marvel mentions in the DC shows? Like Spider-Man was mentioned tonight as well. I don't get that either. It's almost like an inside joke now at this point.
DC show referencing Marvel. Like,
right. Maybe they're hoping that Marvel will give them a shout out in something. I don't know. So sticking with the whole, since we've talked about Olicity and Jax, we'll talk about the Barry and Iris stuff and all the moments between everybody. If you notice in a lot of the scenes where they've got this invasion going on, the characters were speaking to each other and they were saying stuff like, although we have this big thing happening, should we talk about this stuff? It's almost like they were saying it out loud because they realized how ridiculous it was to have those down moments when all this other stuff was happening. And I mean in the sense of, like, with the invading army and these evil supervillains being there, and they're stopping to have a moment, like a heart-to-heart about a dinner guest or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it was, my issue was where they were placed in the episode. Like if all of that would have happened before the invading army came over, I would have been like, okay, that makes sense. But having it happen after all of that had occurred was like, and you sent Wally away for this? Like, he's gone and these characters are still here and they're having these conversations. Like the stuff between Iris and Felicity, I realized it was a bonding thing between the two of them, but it seemed like they said it out loud at least twice where they're like, do we have time for this? Do we have time for this conversation? Like it just, like they were affirming it to us, the viewers, how ridiculous it was that they were having those conversations.
It just seems stupid, like Iris and Felicity having this like massive bonding session as if they're just coming together now.
Right.
Yeah, in the wedding, Iris is one of the bridesmaids.
Right.
One of the two.
Yeah.
Caitlin's the maid of honor, and then there's another bridesmaid. It's Felicity. Like, Iris, do you know anyone else?
Well, that's another thing is when I was watching the church scene, I'm like, who are all these people? Like, we never see them interact with people. I'm
surprised Cecile wasn't a bridesmaid.
Yeah.
Cecile could have been a bridesmaid. Like, it's not illegal for your future stepmom to be a bridesmaid.
Yeah. So
your mother is a bridesmaid if you wanted to.
We're going to talk about, I do want to talk about the Sanvers stuff, but we're going to wait to the end because I want to talk about that at the very end because that's a separate thing that I think was watching.
It sounds like we hated the, if someone came in the past like 10 minutes, I would think we hated the cross.
Yeah. So we're getting all that stuff out of the way. So let's talk about, so let's talk about the reasons why they came to Earth 1 in the first place. So at first we think it's just because they want to expand their rule. You know, they want to take over other Earths in the multiverse, which is the idea we get from this. But then we find out that it's because Overgirl is actually dying from saturation of the radiation. Yeah.
Yeah. Overdose,
So she needs a new heart. So it's kind of a twofold thing. Now, I don't know which one came first. Was it that she needed the heart first, then they decided to invade? Or was it they were going to invade and this sort of just helped them find the heart? Because in my mind, I'm thinking if she knew she needed the heart and they were aware of other Earths in the multiverse, they could have just gone to Earth 38 and then they would have very little opposition, you know, because on that Earth, I mean, there's only like 2 or 3 heroes, right? So I feel like they could have done that. So I feel like that must have been the secondary objective, honestly, because even when we'll talk about Eobard in a second, but when Eobard's talking with Oliver and Kara about his devotion to her, it almost feels like he wants Oliver's focus to be on the expanding of their empire, but Oliver's focus is on Kara. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's kind of the vibe I got. So I feel like maybe that was the secondary objective, and it just so happens to be everything fell into place with the two of those. Is that the vibe you got too, or were you thinking that it was something else?
I don't know, because it just seemed like they came directly to the church. Like I think they were saying like they could, I don't know if they could sense her power, but they just went to the church because she would aim to get her.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I felt from it. So I think the motives are a bit messy. It's almost like any villain from any sort of media.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems like they're just rushing to put them in there. But then again, there is 2 episodes to go. We know from the trailers that there is this quote unquote doomsday device. So,
right. Yeah.
So obviously that we might learn more about their plan. Maybe they didn't want to reveal it too early. Like maybe it was that get the heart thing as a bit of a mask.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully there's something else, because like that's a bit like a couple of things in this crossover. Although the first 2 episodes are a bit lame.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest.
Yeah. I mean, there were some things, honestly. Let's see. A lot of people were asking online, and I wrote this in my notes, is at the church scene. I keep going back to this scene, but it was so integral to everything that happened after that. In the church scene, our heroes use their power in front of everybody in the church, including people that clearly don't know that they're superheroes. And they were saying, and this might be for people in the chat too, because I think a lot of people probably missed it. And I will say it's kind of the writers were letting us know that they were aware of it. They were asking how the people, did they just give away their secret identity? Well, there was a scene right after that where Mick walks in with like one of those Men in Black devices, and he's like, I got all of them, or something like that, talking about their memories and erasing their memories. And as unbelievable as that actually is, because I don't know if did that tech exist before? Have we ever seen that before or not? the
Yeah,
memory
they use it
erasing.
on Legends.
Okay. So that was what he was using, the Legends device then. I was thinking
Yeah,
for
the thing
Star
that they
Labs for
use
some
on the
reason.
different things. The thing they use on the anachronisms when they take
Okay.
them back.
So
in
it was
time.
the same exact device then. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So he's saying
But the
he,
thing
he
is,
got
if you
everybody.
didn't watch Legends, you wouldn't know what the hell that
Well,
was.
even
Just
I
as,
was
like,
thinking
you'd think
about
was
it.
just plot device.
Because I know they've used it
Yeah.
on Legends before, but I'm thinking, do they have those at Star Labs? Because the Wave Rider was not there. So I didn't think that they had access to those. Why would they just have that device on them? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just have it handy.
Yeah, so they did acknowledge that. I'm not going to give them too much crap about that because they did
You
acknowledge
could
it.
even you could even argue about like how Sarah has her outfit, her white canary outfit.
That's true, yeah.
Like, sorry, like what? Did you just like bring that with you just to wear around the house or something? Like they were just dropping in for the wedding, like they would have been going in like a day or two. That she wouldn't have needed that. So
Right.
you could argue about that. Even
You
like
could.
Mick wearing his Heatwave clothes.
Right, or having his weapon. Like that was another thing. Like why would he?
I don't know. He's pretty attached to that gun. I think he probably and he had it at the wedding. Jesus Christ! I just realized he had it at the wedding as well.
Yeah. Well, it is Mick, and Mick's one of those characters who is so over the top. I mean, you can almost believe that he would bring that weapon to the wedding, I guess. So
I can understand why they included him bringing him to the wedding. I can understand why they brought him.
Yeah, see, Jake says, I don't watch Legends. I understood that it erased our memories. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I feel like the device, even though I wasn't sure if it was the same device, I understood what he was doing and what he meant by it. But a lot of people on Twitter, I guess, either missed that scene or didn't understand it. Okay, yeah, we'll talk. I'll mention that really quick. Yeah, the fact that Melissa sang, she sounded great. I thought that was a great little moment for her there in the episode.
And it's a throwback to when Barry proposed to Iris.
Yeah, with the song. So I thought that was appropriate. I thought that was great. Overall, see, a lot of people say that I don't like that kind of stuff. I like it when it fits. I mean, I thought that was fine because they took time setting it up. Like when Barry said, you have a talent that you could be helpful to us that doesn't involve Supergirl. That kind of thing or whatever. I kind of liked how they set that up, and that was good. And I think that all the guys and the girls, all their like wedding outfits looked amazing. I thought that Iris West gown was beautiful. I even said that on Twitter when I saw the photos. And they obviously spent a lot of money on that, or maybe it was donated. Probably donated.
I think they advertised a couple of weeks ago, like where the dress was from. So maybe it was like a promotional deal.
Yeah.
Apparently expensive dress. It's like $20,000 or something.
Yeah. Look, Adam says, where did Oliver's bow come from at the church? Thin air. Yeah. I mean, there was that scene. We said this earlier. That scene, as far as editing goes, I felt like there was a lot of like issues with it, but I thought that it was a good, like the first hour, the fighting scenes in the first hour were much better than the fighting scenes in the second hour. And that's kind of strange to me because James Banford, who directs Arrow quite often, is usually pretty good with his fight scenes. Arrow has a lot of really solid fighting scenes in their show. I'm wondering if he got overwhelmed in the second hour because of the fact that he doesn't usually work with metahumans and people with like the powers of Supergirl and Firestorm. Because there was a lot of really weird cuts in the second hour as far as the fighting goes. One of the scenes that I did not like, I liked the fighting scenes in general. The action scenes I thought were great scenes, even when they were kind of choppy. What was up with the Dark Archer and Green Arrow swinging around the water tower? Like, what was that about? Like,
that sort of gave me like, I don't know what it was. It's like, that's very unbelievable for one.
Yeah.
Because we hardly ever see Oliver do that. Like he swings like off like a simple, but he's never like swinging like vertically, if that makes sense. Like swinging up and then around, and like he's Spider-Man. It was like the Green Arrow was Spider-Man. That's what it looked like to me.
Because of the way he was shooting, it was almost at the level of a metahuman. You know what I mean? Like the way that was being done. Look, the Arrow's junk must be incredibly bent up and bruised from overgrowth. So really, that's what we've dropped to that level. We sunk to that level. It was very Batman style, and I honestly think that was what they were going with that scene. But like, I was sitting here watching it with some people, and they were like, "What in the world is the point of that? Like, what were they even doing? Like I don't even understand what the purpose of it was, other than it's cool, so we'll throw it in there." It was to stabilize the building. Yeah, they didn't make it very clear because like no one that I was watching it with understood what was going on in that scene. Well, because both of them were doing it, right? It wasn't just our Oliver; it was the Dark Archer as well. So
Yeah.
why would he? Why would he be stabilizing the building? I mean, he doesn't care, right? I mean, that's what I thought. Because Overgirl can fly and Eobard can run fast. So I don't know. That was kind of weird. But overall, I give them, a really, really high marks for the action in the 2 episodes, particularly the first hour, because I thought that was really good. Okay, we'll scroll through here. Okay, so Sarah and Alex took out Prometheus in that first hour. Talk about the maid already. The maid. What
Maid?
What maid are we talking about?
Oh, they're talking about Dawn Allen.
Oh, she wasn't a maid. She was a server.
Yeah, so
We'll talk about her. Yeah, we're going to talk about her in a second. I was like, maid? What maid? Are we talking about, like, Oliver's maid with William? Because I was like, I don't remember her being in the episode. Okay, so Alex and Sarah took out Prometheus, and of course, we find out there's a reveal that Prometheus is Tommy Merlin. I think most of us had pretty much just determined that's who it was going to be, even though it wasn't confirmed. How do you feel about that, Paigey? Because he didn't last very long.
who? Tommy Merlin,
Yeah.
Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a feeling that we weren't going to see, like, Prometheus is either going to die or was going to stay locked up the whole time. Just because in all the trailers, there's, like, none of him. So I wasn't too surprised. I was, like, it's a very old Nazi thing, like a whole German spy thing to take the cyanide.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that was a nice nod, I guess.
But didn't he already reveal everything? I mean, that's the thing, is like, he didn't do it before. He went through a whole spiel, basically giving Oliver tons of information before he did it. Like,
yeah.
The point of doing that is so you don't reveal information. So I was like, okay. I mean, he gave him a lot of, like, there was a lot of information there that he gave him. I mean, not specific stuff, but like very good general information.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And also, I had a couple people on Twitter who were saying, why did they not take his mask off before leading him in? For the plot, for the reveal, hello. They wanted to make it very, like, over the top. I give them a pass on that one. There was a purpose behind that. I was thinking about it as they were bringing him in as well, but then I thought they're just building up to whatever the reveal is going to be.
Yeah, I did like the scene between Tommy and Oliver, though.
Yes, it was very good.
Gave it season 1 flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. Also, I think it was kind of unfortunate that he had to go so quickly, but it's probably because Colin is doing another show. He doesn't have a lot of...
Yeah, I heard that he finished filming for one day, flew up, filmed Arrow, and flew back. So he was only in Vancouver for like a couple, like only for a bit, like less than a day. And he filmed that scene. That's why it's all contained in that. And that would have been a stunt double walking in with the mask on, obviously.
Yeah, it was probably a stunt double the entire time except for that one scene.
He would have just filmed, would have filmed that reveal scene, him talking to Oliver and then dying. 3 scenes. And even the dying scene he tied into another one. So 2 scenes, really, 2.5.
And there's a couple people in the chat who are saying that how could Alex and Sarah take him out that easy? But it's not the same Prometheus as the one we had. We don't know his level of training. So
yeah, this isn't like a fully highly trained by the League of Assassins or by Talia al Ghul and stuff. This isn't that type of Prometheus.
Yeah. So you should have known right away when he came in and they were able to take him out that easily that it wasn't the one we know, because the one we know from the show wouldn't have, not that they they couldn't have beat them, because I do believe Sarah would have definitely given him a run for his money. But he went down extremely easy, in my opinion, compared to the one that we know, the one that we knew from ours.
Yeah, like he didn't even get any like, what do you call them, like shots or hits on Sarah.
Right. Really. I don't think Tommy was trained by Talia. Yeah, I don't think so either. Okay, man, so much stuff to get through here. We're already 30 minutes in, so let's keep it moving here. Okay, so some characters that were absent from this episode were Ray, Nate, Amaya, and Zari. Now, I think they mentioned that they were doing something with the Wave Rider, but it was very quick passing comment.
If they said anything, I missed it. Yeah, I didn't hear it.
Because I think there was something. Who was it they were talking to, where it says doesn't the Wave Rider have that kind of technology? And they're like, well, it's in the prehistoric past, literally, or something like that. And I'm like, oh, maybe they're doing something in the past. Again, it was one of those things where it either meant that or they just dropped the ball and didn't care. But I thought it was kind of weird that Ray wouldn't be there, because Ray was closer to some of those characters than other people that were actually there.
Yeah.
I was like, that's kind of weird as well that he wasn't there. So, yeah, that was kind of strange. But they were noticeably absent. And we know Zari's getting a new costume, so you guys be looking out for that. She's going to have a new look, you know. Okay.
It's almost the opposite of it. It's almost like the opposite of a comic book suit.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
It's not the one. It's not the one from the Halloween episode, guys. It's not that white outfit. That was just for
that
just
was like full on. That was like full on comic book.
Yeah.
I won't say the name because the demonetization squad will hit Eric with a big old yellow icon. Well, they probably will, but they might just keep it on for longer if I say the name.
Oh yeah. I don't know. So let's see. I'm looking at some of the comments here. Okay, so I have a huge nitpick for this, but I'm going to save that as the last thing I talk about. So we'll talk about Sarah and Alex. So can we talk about like doing the most predictable thing with these two characters? I mean, that's kind of what I thought when I saw it. The minute they were talking with each other, I was like, are they
hook up?
Well, no, I thought, and I said this out loud. I was like, they're setting up something with this conversation. Like, I could tell they were setting something up, but I'm thinking like down the road, like they're setting something up for like, you know, the end of the season or maybe, you know, next year's crossover or something like that. But they waste no time. They're outside of the like jitters making out in the alley immediately, like not even 5 minutes after they meet. And then we see that they have actually hooked up. Like they were actually together first night, first time meeting. And I'm just like, I'm checking Twitter and Reddit for Sanders fans, and they were livid. They were so angry about this. They were like, there was like nasty messages to Katie Lotz on Twitter, nasty messages to Katie Lotz on Instagram. I just kind of browsing through it. I was like, oh man, they're not happy about this. And you know, like I get it though, because it is really soon. Like they just broke up like what 3 weeks ago. And so we're going into the crossover, and here we are. And I was like, I can't believe they're doing this. I could not believe it. I thought this is predictable, but I thought they were going to take their time with it. But nope, they jump right into it.
I posted on Twitter. I posted on Twitter. Well, I guess Sarah and Alex shippers just lost their minds? ? And it got like 21 retweets and 76 likes.
It's gonna be a bad week for them. I think that this is gonna be one of those things. Yeah, I think in general, but at the same time, I kind of like it's misdirected anger, because you have to remember the writers of the episode were Mark Guggenheim and Andrew Kreisberg. So
don't worry, I could tell Guggenheim had his hands on this.
Yeah, so I mean. Yes. See, Wayne says it fits Sarah. Yes, it fits Sarah. That wasn't the part that got me. It was Alex that it didn't fit.
Yeah, like it was almost like counter Alex. But that's the thing. Then they address it the next morning where Alex was like, what have I done? It's like so out of my normal thing. So it's almost like the pain of leaving Maggie or not being with Maggie sort of drove it to that.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
in that way, I think it works because I've seen it happen before.
Right.
In real life.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, you guys, I'm not saying that it can't, because I see a lot of people in chat are saying that happens and it happens. Yeah, it happens, but I just feel like that Andrew and Mark took a huge risk by basically having it happen so soon. That's what I'm thinking. Because I actually said when Alex and Maggie broke up, I think in my review, I said, if they're smart, they will not give her another relationship for the rest of the season, simply because I knew that was going to happen.
Or they would do something
angry.
where she gets it, or they do something where she like almost gets into a relationship and then she backs out of it because she still thinks about Maggie.
Yeah. See, I see Ben is in the chat, but he probably can't jump in here because it's in the middle of the night where he is. If you want to, you can, Ben, or if not, you can just hang out in the chat. So yeah, Sanders fans are going to be, or just, I don't know about all that. But okay, so I love the 2 episodes too. Don't think I don't. I'm basically being very critical about it, but I loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, like there was parts you can nitpick about that were still good, but there were
Right.
parts that were bad. Like
But-
there were bad scenes.
But in general, I mean, the characterization of people, the interactions, I thought all of that was amazing.
Yeah,
I thought-
and that's the reason you watch it, and they nailed it. It's almost
Yeah.
like, I know people would hate this comparison if you didn't like it, but Justice League, you went there to watch the Justice League, and it worked,
Mhm.
and that part worked. And it's the same with this thing, like bring all the people together. It's a shame that not everyone was there because, like, really, Team Arrow wasn't even there for the most part. They shut up for one scene and then got knocked out.
Yeah. We're going to get to that in a second, Justin. I'm saving that for the end because I'm going to rage about that.
Oh, weren't you happy about that? I'm sort of confused about it, but I liked it. I like it, but confused.
Right.
That's the best way to put it.
Exactly. That's my whole thing, and we'll talk about that in a second. I want to get through the stuff I liked first before I get to that because people will think that that I hate the episode, but I don't. I love the action scenes, even the ones that were kind of wonky in the editing. I thought they were great. The character moments between everybody, I think, were really good. Even the Alex and Sarah stuff, which was predictable, and I know that the Sanvers fans are going to absolutely hate it. I thought that it was done really well because it was realistic in a way that the show doesn't normally get realism. So I kind of appreciated that from them.
Actually, one thing I actually saw people blowing up about is that people that hate Mon-El were so annoyed that he was in this episode, even if it was for 1 second.
Oh, really?
They were not happy he was in it because, like, he doesn't deserve to be. Which I was like, okay, I don't know why. It was random when he showed up as well. I thought it was just going to be Alex and Sarah.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, Alex and Kara.
Right.
Not Sarah. Alex and Kara, and then she would go over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, okay, I don't know why Mon-El's here. I guess it was just a drive home the point. Like, that's the dude that Kara just broke up with, for people that don't watch Supergirl.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
And let's talk about we'll talk about Killer Frost and Heatwave. I loved Heatwave in this episode. He's absolutely great when he just does not care, and I love that about him.
Like, he doesn't realize how big the situation is.
Yeah,
He just thinks
because
it's like a normal
he all he cares about is free food and an open bar, and I mean I can relate to that. So, and Killer Frost I thought was excellent. Caitlin was great this episode. They're going all in with this Incredible Hulk, like mirror of the Incredible Hulk thing with her, and I'm kind of on the fence about that. I mean I get it, but at the same time it's like I don't need them to do a copy of that. I want them to do something unique with her. Yeah, Martian Manhunter was missed. I would have loved to have him in this crossover.
They should have done him instead of Metallo. They should have made like Evil Martian Manhunter.
Right.
Like,
That would've made
Metallo
more
was so
sense.
bad. Metallo was bad.
This-
The CGI wasn't good.
I was going to say the same thing. Like you go from something like Grodd, which looks really, really good for TV CGI, to Metallo, which
It looks worse than the Terminator movies, which are from the 1980s.
yeah, it looked worse
That's what
than
it was.
Savitar 1.0, honestly.
Yeah.
So-
it was not good. I'm actually sort of scared to see Red Tornado. Actually, now that I think, I'm scared to see Red Tornado because he looked bad when they made a suit. So imagine when it's CGI. I'm scared.
Who do you
I
think?
close my eyes when Red Tornado pops up on screen.
Ricochet says, "Who do you think the leader is?" I'm going to say it's probably Quentin Lance.
The Führer.
Yeah.
Well, didn't they, when they saying, they used to say Heil Hitler when Hitler wasn't there. So,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. It could be Lance.
It could
But
be.
I think Lance is just. I think Lance is just like a lieutenant.
Some
like a
people were
lieutenant.
saying it's that they thought it was going to be Overman, but Tyler Hoechlin was not filming at all during the crossover. So
Well, they called Supergirl a general.
yeah, because they said
I don't
that he would be crushed under his heel is what they said in the episode, and I'm thinking, well, who could that be? I mean,
Yeah.
other than Overman.
Unless I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It would have been cool if they had Overman, but then I guess they need to hype up Overgirl. If they take down Overgirl,
Okay, yeah. Call me Amino. Can you mention the shaky, close, terrible fight scene with Dark Arrow, Black Canary, Mr. Terrific, and Wild Dog? Now I need to pick. It bothers me so much. Yeah, that was one of the scenes I didn't like, and oddly enough, that was one directed by James Banford, who does Arrow all the time. Again, I feel like he may have been overwhelmed with all the metahumans because he doesn't direct those kinds of fight scenes usually. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just saying that could be the reason why. Because he usually does a really good job.
Also, one thing about that, when Dark Arrow, when the door comes up and Dark Arrow walks out into that thing, why was he in like the speed lab track? What was he in there? Was it just for some dramatic entrance?
Yeah, I don't know. That is kind of
Yeah.
weird.
I was wondering, it's like at least he was hiding, but then there was no reason to hide there because I think Heatwave came in after him.
Right.
I don't know. But like speaking of that, another fight scene which I think was cool, but the choreography was definitely off, and I think it was just due to the amount of extras they had in the soldier suits.
Right.
Was in that warehouse one where like all
Yeah.
the Earth X people were hiding out.
Yeah.
The timing was really off for a lot of them. Like there was one in particular where Sarah swings her baton, and she's done swinging for a good half a second, and then the guy like jumps up, and I was like, "That's really bad."
See, I'm kind of
But
thinking
because
that
it was
those
a tracking
scenes,
shot,
yeah,
they couldn't reshoot it.
right. That's what I'm thinking.
That's the issue.
I was thinking the same
Yeah.
thing. I was like, the scene was much too. The scale of the scene was so big that was it. They couldn't. They would have to reset
Reshoot it.
everything, and that would have
The
been.
only thing I could do is if like it's easy with Flash running by because it's all CGI, so they can just
Right.
take the Flash out and just. But when it's a real person, like whether it was Katie Lotz or her stunt double,
I was just
doing
thinking
that,
Barry and Wally and Eobard / Harrison Wells probably has it really easy because literally whenever their action scenes come up, it's like, okay, get off set. Okay, and now you're back. You're talking again. That's pretty much what
Yeah.
it is. So it's kind of funny.
Yeah, like I remember watching a behind the scenes video when they were doing it, and Barry and like Grant Gustin in the Flash suit is just in the background, like just like drinking, just on a seat while everyone in there else is in the scene fighting because all of his actions are CGI.
Right. What you call it? J Rod says, "How hard did you laugh with Mick in Stein's house?" I loved every single scene with Mick. I could
Yeah,
watch a
Mick was
whole
the
episode with
MVP.
Mick. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You think?
Even, like,
Oh,
him
they think
and the-
Iris is the leader on Earth X. That would be.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Think about it though. That could.
Uh,
Except Iris is not really Aryan, and I think that's the whole point, right? I mean, maybe unless it's just an offshoot of. I don't know. That would be weird if it was. Could it be Caitlyn? I mean, we've got a lot of characters that we have not seen. I don't know. So somebody Mark says, Paigey, it's not Dawn Allen, it's Jenny. Is that in reference to
yeah, the maid. People, there's either it's Dawn Allen or it's Jenny Ognats, whatever it is,
Yeah.
which is she's a member of the Legion of Superheroes and she's the granddaughter of Barry Allen.
right?
And that's why it would make sense if she's coming by herself.
Mm-hmm.
And then it could tie into Supergirl season 3.
But see, the
'Cause she's
problem
a
is,
member of the Legion
isn't
of
everyone
Superheroes.
that came back with Mon-El still in cryostasis, other than him and Saturn Girl?
That's the issue there.
I don't think we're going to see her again, guys. I think that was it. I hate to burst bubbles.
What, that character that showed up at the wedding?
Yeah.
I don't know. The thing is that she's a fairly like decently sized actress. Like she has over 60,000 Twitter followers and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So she's not like a no one.
I'm just but they might be setting up something for way later on. Like, I don't know if she's going to come back in this crossover.
It's my thoughts. Like they might be setting her up like
Yeah.
almost like Hawk Girl. Remember at the end of season 1 of the Flash, you see Hawk Girl?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They could be doing something like that.
Off topic though, they're going to recast Iris West for the DC film universe, by the way.
Oh,
I saw that.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Because she got casted by the old director, so I'm not too surprised.
Can we talk about Colonel Sanders getting killed tonight at the wedding? That was actually the actor from an old 80s superhero show called The Greatest American Hero from like 1981. A show where I'm dating myself here because I actually watched it when it was on television. So I was a kid, but I watched it. He played a character who people are going to wiki me this now. It's going to be safe forever. I'm going completely off memory. I don't remember the name. I know they had to change the name of the character because of something that happened in the 80s. I'm not going to mention it here because it will definitely get the video demonetized. But they changed the name of the main character. But the main character of that show got a superhero suit from Aliens, I believe. It was either Aliens or people from the future. They gave him the suit, and he basically had the powers of Superman. And that was the premise of the whole show. But it was like a comedy show. It was sort of like what we watch now, where it's action, but it was also comedy. But just a little bit of trivia there. I think they put him in for that reason, just so people would recognize who he is. Are we ever going to see the Hawks again? No, probably not.
I hope not.
Nope. They won't even recast them unless they decide. Well, they could recast them and say that they've been reincarnated, but I don't think they will because they had a tough time with those characters. I don't think that that Hawkman and Hawkgirl were well received, I think, is what the problem was. They have a very complicated backstory, and I think it affected.
Someone's saying that Supergirl can't act.
So,
I did think she can't play an evil person very well.
oh
I
yeah,
didn't believe her.
yeah.
Like it didn't work for me. Her
Oliver does evil good.
I thought like evil Prometheus, like Tommy Mellon, I thought he was really good. Like just the way he like changed his tone and like how he was saying things, I thought was really good. Obviously, Tom Cavanagh's very good at it. Like
says, I think some of the X version of these characters' dialogue was cringy. Well, I'm wondering if they were supposed to be over the top mustache.
Yeah, just like that
villains.
over the top villain.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for. So when you say cringy, I think that was kind of the intention of some of these characters. Okay, so with all that being said, I think we enjoyed, or at least I enjoyed, the kickoff for this. I think the first 2 episodes definitely set up an exciting story. I'm ready for the next 2 parts of it. We're not done talking about it. I'm just giving you guys an idea so people don't think that we absolutely hated it, because they always think that I hate something. Even if I give it like an 8.5, they're like, why did you hate it? Why? I gave it an 8.5. Is that not enough? Let's talk about the costumes. I love the Overgirl costume. Regardless of what you think about her acting, I think the Overgirl costume is dope. The Reverse Flash costume is getting used again. They saved money on that because all they had to do is change the logo on it and build a mask.
Yeah, but that made sense that made sense because of who it is.
Right.
Like if they like said like if that was Barry in the Reverse Flash suit, we were like,
oh, we're gonna get to that in a second. We're gonna get to that in a second. Let's see. Yes, Overgirl had the best costume. I'm gonna say out of all the bad guys, I do think Overgirl had the best costume.
Have you forgotten about Metallo? His suit was amazing. Can you sense the sarcasm in my voice?
Can we talk about we'll just go to Metallo for a second. I didn't think it could get any worse than the suits that they used on Supergirl, because those chest plates were horrible and I hated them. Yeah. And I talked so much trash about them when I was reviewing that season. It got worse. I was like, you know what? They could have replaced him with a person that had a laser, and it would have done the same effect. Like, I don't even understand. It literally was like she turns and she goes, Metallo. And then we see him for like 15 seconds. He could have been replaced with something else. Like, I don't understand. It wasn't like he was a defining factor to the fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like he made a big difference to what was going on. So that was kind of weird. Okay, so let's talk about my only, like, out of everything I've talked about, none of it is like game breaking for me. I think that even the smallest nitpicks, I still enjoyed it. I hate the explanation for Eobard Thawne being there. I hate it. I think it's the worst thing ever. How many times are we going to say it's just so complicated you wouldn't understand it? No, it's complicated because it doesn't make sense. And they don't want to write in any real reason for why it happens. Because if you think about this, okay, where in the world would that Eobard Thawne have had the time to go to Earth X? How would he have gotten there in the first place? How would he have known to go there? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. How? Why? What? None of it makes any sense to me. And his explanation for it didn't really matter either. Like, so we're to assume that this Eobard is the one that came from our timeline from Earth 1, that came all the way back to take out Nora Allen, and then decided to go to Earth X? I mean, wouldn't that erase all of season 1 yet again? We've talked about this. Because he gets evaporated into the multiverse at the end of season 1. And then if we go back to Legends, he's gone from there too. Is this a time remnant of Eobard Thawne? I mean, where does this Eobard come from? And I'm so angry about it because I love Eobard, but this is just like so bad. It's so bad. Why would he take the appearance of Harrison Wells from Earth X? What would be the point of that? And clearly, they know who he is. So, what reason? Because I think he said something to Barry like, oh, I decided to use this face again. Use it again? How did you use it again? How? How did you use it again? Explain that. God. That doesn't make any sense. Not only that, but if Eobard Thawne was on their Earth, why are they just now finding out about Earth 1? Why is this just now a thing? He came from Earth 1. When they found this breach or whatever, they would have known about it already. And if Eobard was able to go from Earth 1 to Earth X, he could have taken people back and forth anytime he wanted to. So why do they have to wait to find this breach?
Yeah.
It's so bad. It makes no sense. With that being said, I'm happy to see the Reverse Flash back. I love the Reverse Flash. However, they have yet on the show to write an explanation for anything that he has done, with the exception of his original plot. That's the only thing. I love Tom Cavanaugh's Reverse Flash. Budgetary-wise, I get why they used him. I get it. Makes total sense. Tom Cavanaugh, everybody wanted to see him as Reverse Flash again. But come on. Like, what did you think of it? Did it bother you as much as it bothers me? Probably not, because I get very upset. But Reverse Flash is my favorite character, so...
Too much. It didn't bother me too much because I was just happy to see him back on the show. So it didn't bother me as much as obviously it's bothering you. Yeah, someone said like he just maybe just used the face, like he just killed Earth X Wells and took his persona, but like on an Earth that evil, I don't think you'd have to do that, like because I don't think they'd really care too much.
Well, the whole reason for taking Wells was to manipulate Barry into becoming the Flash.
Yeah.
So going to Earth X, he would have had no reason to do that.
Unless he just like, oh, I do this. I know that. Oh, I don't know.
It seemed like a very painful process to go through on Earth 1. So
he could just remained Eobard Thawne on Earth X.
And was there no Eobard on Earth X? I mean,
well, there probably is. He probably just, but because there's no Flash on Earth X, it's run differently. It probably doesn't, like the timeline doesn't adjust the same as it would now on.
But this is why time travel has bugged me on the shows for so long, because it's saying it's complicated or saying the more you do it, the less the rules apply. No, that's not how it works. It's just they don't have an answer for it. And the only thing, though, that it did answer for me, sort of answered for me, is if he went to Earth X, he could actually kill Barry Allen there because that Barry Allen has nothing to do with him getting his powers. So that would explain how that Flash would have been removed from their Earth. I mean,
yeah,
but he didn't really say that he did that. So, I mean, I'm kind of giving him that one. Also, people were asking about the CW Seed and the Freedom Fighters. That cartoon should have been out already, but I looked it up online, and they haven't even cast actors for the voices of the side characters yet. So they just give up on doing that? Is it not going to happen now? I mean, I can't imagine there would be any point in releasing it after the crossover.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really weird. It's just same with the Constantine one. They released a trailer for that ages ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know when that's coming out. I know that they release them in the summer, like when the shows have ended usually. Like, I think that's when Vixen's dropped both times. But like, there's been like no word on like what's going on.
The Game and Beaster says we don't know how fast each speedster is specifically. You're right. They're not telling us anymore. We really have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's because didn't they give Barry like a ridiculous speed count once?
Yeah, like, because I think some people did the math and they said Savitar at his top speed would have been running like Mach 25. So, that means Barry would have had to been close to it.
Given Barry such a high number when he probably didn't need, like, that he wasn't actually running that number. They just gave it to him for some reason.
Why is Thawne still faster than Barry? Why is Thawne even there? I mean, that's a better question. I don't know. Yes, Earth X Barry was part of the, what is it? What are they called? The new Reichsman?
The new Reichsman,
yeah. That's okay, Amino. Stuff like that doesn't bother me. I can take a joke. It doesn't bug me at all. Super Arrow triggering elicitors. Oh yeah, let's talk about that. I didn't even think about that. That kind of washed out of my head. The fact that Oliver and Kara from Earth X are in a relationship and they're married. It's not just boyfriend and girlfriend. They're actually married.
Power couple.
I can see now that's going to be a thing for the rest of time. These characters, they're going to say, oh, they had the perfect relationship. They were the power couple of Earth X. No one could beat them. And yeah, it's going to be one of those things. I can see the memes and the GIFs already of it.
Yeah.
So Super Arrow, they already have Super Arrow is their shipping name. That's interesting. Why? Because Thawne studied the Speed Force. I've always said I think that Eobard Thawne is the foremost authority on the Speed Force when it comes to that kind of stuff. 52 Earths, the comics with the new 52. Okay, we talked about this before about there being a 53rd Earth. I don't really care.
the way, the way, just to cut in there, the way that they explained it almost sound like, yeah, the 52 Earths are all cool with each other, but then there's Earth X is a bit of an asshole,
yeah.
So we just exclude him from it. That's what it sounded like when Wells was explaining it.
Yeah, and I will say that I heard a lot of people were complaining about the fact that Wells knew all this information, but they had to have somebody to know about it. I mean, they had to get that information out. So yeah, it was kind of weird that he knew about it and just did, like, when all this was going on, he didn't say, by the way, there's an evil Earth. You know, he waited until like, oh, by the way, there's Earth 53, and you know, so it is what it is. But I'm pretty sure that Earth 19 isn't necessarily the most friendly Earth either. So
yeah,
it was kind of weird.
Neither was Earth 2, but I don't know what Earth 2 is like now. We haven't been there for a while, but
that is a good point. We haven't been there for a while. I thought the number of Earths was infinite. They said that in season 3 when looking for more Wells. Well, see, I'm you know me, I will call them out if I feel like they've made a mistake. What I think with that was that was before they understood the multiverse. I think that was because I think Cisco's the one that said that, right? That there was infinite Earths or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it. Yeah.
I feel like after study, maybe they determined there was only 52, but then they were proven wrong because now there's 53. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe there's 68. Maybe there's 75. I don't know. When they say stuff like that and then they don't, like when they don't double down on it, it does leave room for interpretation. And so take it for what it's worth. Yeah, I thought it was supposed to be infinite Earths. Yeah, I mean, technically, if they say there's 52 and then there's 53, that leads me to believe that there's not just 53. There's probably more than that. So Harry's the one that said that. Okay. I knew someone said it. I couldn't remember who it was. Let's see. Was there anything I forgot on my list here? Because we're getting close to wrapping this up. Let's see. Oh, the Dark Arrow or Dark Archer taking out Star Labs, even that fight scene, it didn't really show how he actually did everything. It kind of just cut away and he's like, oh, by the way, I took them all out. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
That was kind of weird.
Oh, no, one thing. Killer Frost and her ice sword that she makes.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it was.
I want to see more. It's like Green Lantern turned ice.
Well, when
She's making what's next?
That first fight scene, we're sitting there watching it, and she did that, and we were like, "What? Oh my god!" Like, because we saw like Wally doing his thing, and then we saw her doing that, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Let's see. So, we'll wrap it up with talking about expectations for tomorrow night. So, tomorrow night, I'm expecting it to be even bigger than what we got in tonight's 2 episodes, because we have Flash and Legends. And just in general, the people that direct those shows understand how to do action at a larger level than like Arrow does. No offense to Arrow, but you could tell James Banford was struggling with the editing of his episode. I don't remember who did the Supergirl episode, but even though they had some wonky editing, I think they did a really good job of like featuring powers. Because that's when we got the ice sword from Killer Frost. Because I remember the church fight to me was more memorable than the warehouse scene.
I think it was like Larry Teng or something.
Yes, it was. Teng was the last name. Yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah.
And tomorrow night, we're getting Citizen Cold. We're getting the Ray. We're going to get the alt version of Win from some of the pictures I saw behind the scenes. I'm wondering if what's going to happen, because there is a rumor that Snart and the Ray are in a relationship together. Is that a rumor? Or has that been confirmed?
Well, the Ray is a gay character in the comics, and also on his suit he has like an upside down. I think it's like a pink triangle.
Yeah,
I think back in the day in Nazi concentration camps, that's how they marked homosexuals.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if Snart is going to be with him.
Well, that's what I've heard. Yeah, I've heard Snart and him are in a relationship.
Says, I wonder if the other Win is evil or good. I think he's the leader or one of the leaders of the Resistance.
I think the rebels. I think he's the leader, like, or at least like he's almost says like a bit more of a badass version of what he is on Supergirl. Like he's like the central hub of the rebels, if that makes sense.
At the end of Legends, when Eobard,
I don't think he's out there shooting people up, but
oh yeah, you're probably right. But he looked really dope though. I think at the end of Legends, Eobard, when he turned orange. Orange means they go into the Speed Force. So he went into the Speed Force, then he got out, but then traveled to Earth X maybe. That's such a complicated thing because the Eobard that we saw in Legends technically would have been the Eobard we got from season 1 of The Flash. So, you know, it's like I just want to put a dartboard up and put Eobard in different stories and just throw darts at it, and that's what we'll use for the season. Because, I mean, it doesn't really... None of it really adds up, in my opinion. But all that being said, I'm very happy to see Tom Cavanaugh back as Eobard, as Reverse Flash. So I am enjoying that. I just don't like their explanation for why he's there.
Someone asked, is Snart gay? Because he knows that Wentworth Miller is. From what I know, Wentworth Miller, who plays, obviously, Leonard Snart, tried to play off Captain Cold as asexual.
Yeah, asexual is what I heard as well.
Yeah, which means basically you're not attracted to anything. That's probably the best way to... I think that's basically how to describe it. Or you don't have feelings towards anything. And I think that's the way... You sort of get that from, like, Snart, but then, like, obviously on Legends, him and Sarah are a thing, so...
Yeah, I was looking for another video to add to my Reverse Flash collection because I have a collection of those videos that I've done. Yeah, I think I'll probably do one after the crossover's over with and talk about it. Because I think the thing is, I think one of the jokes was when Mark Guggenheim tweeted out those spoilers, he said, how many times have we killed you? Or something like that, or put you in the suit. Was it, remember, Paigey, we were talking about it that night when the spoilers went out or whatever, that Mark Guggenheim posted, and it was something about Tom Cavanaugh. And
I can bring those up in 2 seconds because I had to send to a DM to someone. I haven't talked to this person in a while.
Yes, the thunderclap that Supergirl did was awesome. I love that when she clapped and it like reverberated. That was great.
Okay, here he goes. These are the couple of tweets that Guggenheim sent out. He goes, "Okay, Todd just confirmed to me it's scene 14. Nuclear option. We picked that up later somewhere at Visual Effects with dressing that ties into post something." And then he goes, "Assuming Kavanagh, as in Tom Kavanagh, is a problem for scene 39, shoot with a double in full face mask, but please shoot in such a way that we can edit/down his material, i.e. I probably want to lose the how many times have I killed you beat." Those are the tweets that Guggenheim accidentally
The how many times have I killed you thing,
for a DM.
Wasn't that the interaction between Oliver and Eobard when he was handcuffed to the truck? Like, in the warehouse scene? I think that was one of the conversations they had was sort of like that.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I can't wait to see Zari tomorrow. I'm excited about that. I'm excited about all the Legends coming in because we'll actually see them use their powers, which is something we rarely get to see on their show because the budget is just so stressed. But I love Zari. I had a 2-hour DC comic book fanboy freak out. Guys, I loved it too. I loved it. It's probably... This is already better than Invasion to me, honestly. It seems more cohesive. I think they learned their lesson from some of the mistakes they made last year. The continuity is better. The flow is better. To me, it feels like what they did was they said, you know what? We have roughly 3.5 hours to play with because of commercials and stuff like that. So let's just make a full story and put it on each episode in blocks. Because if you go back and you look with the Supergirl episode, they did have some point of view moments with Supergirl characters in that episode. And then the Arrow episode, they had point of view moments with Felicity. I mean, with Oliver Felicity. They had those in that episode. So I think what they did was they were very smart. The main storyline is the defining story through the entire 4 episodes. And that's something that we did not have in the last crossover. In the last crossover, it was very disjointed. So I think that this one is much better in that sense. I think they're nailing the characters much better. How will they top this? I don't know. I don't know, Braden. This is going to be tough. Because Yeah, somebody says I despised Invasion. I wasn't very happy with Invasion either. And I called it out last year, and that video got a lot of hate because I said that there was a lot of problems with it. Yeah, Shift. He said that. You can kill me multiple times, but I only have to kill you once. Yeah, but I think that sounds very much like the lines that, or what Mark Guggenheim was saying. They might have tweaked it a little bit because the script is not static. The script can change.
Yeah, the script can change on the set. Like it's like that's the thing. The script is just given by obviously the writers and the people that do the screenplay. But like the director can change the script if he wants to. Like Kevin Smith has said that he changed a lot of the stuff he's done on Flash and Supergirl.
Mm-hmm. Did
like,
you guys
he thinks that like, a certain scene, like a line should be said in a certain way, he'll change it.
Did you guys talk about Guardian? We didn't talk about Guardian at all. But if you want to see it, you can go look on Ben's Twitter. He's got it on there. DC TV show.
Yeah. It's got the threat of spoilers.
Yeah. So Guardian, that was a cool little way to include Jimmy, because we knew he wasn't going to be, as far as I knew, he wasn't going to be in the crossover at all. So that was kind of cool that he was there.
And the suit was different. Like it had the American flag on the shield.
Yeah. It reminded me of like Captain America, to be completely honest.
I think that's what they were going for.
And I was like, okay. I don't like how easily he was taken out, though. I mean, that was pretty, like, he was taken out pretty easy. And it was funny because Oliver said, "Is like you're the best they could spare," or something like that. I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound very promising. So before we go, though, I do want to talk about the Firestorm thing. So do you think they're actually going to leave Jax without powers? Do you think that's what's ultimately going to happen?
Like they could always do the thing where he's just the engineer on the Wave Rider. Wave Rider needs an. So it's not like if he lost his powers, he wouldn't be. They would kick him off the Wave Rider,
right?
Because they need him on there.
But that's what I mean. Do you think he's just going to become like a regular character on the ship? Because he would be the only one who doesn't have any real combat benefits. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't. Yeah. He's not good in fighting.
The only thing I could do is if. Like that then leads onto like another Firestorm popping up. I don't know. Like that whole thing, if that actually happens where he gets sticky hands and he just becomes Sticky Man, then I don't know. I think you'll probably have like a separate video. Like what the hell is going on with Jax? That'll be the title of your video. Not rant and review.
No, not at all.
You get demonetized. I don't know what they're gonna do. But the thing is, like, an important thing to remember is that Jax, or the guy that played Jax, was absent from set for 2 weeks because he was down in Australia. But then I'm pretty sure he went back to Vancouver. So I think he might not be on Legends for an episode or two, maybe.
Maybe he gets knocked out for an episode. Knocked out, meaning, like, that's what happens with characters. Cisco was knocked out for the first 2 episodes. So
yeah.
Why did they do that? What was the purpose of that? I don't understand.
I don't know. Like, I don't know why. Like, I don't feel like why they need to take out Cisco. Seems like a bit of a random character. But the thing I didn't understand was that they knocked him out and he was lying on that bed. But then I'm pretty sure later in the episode, Mick's lying on the bed. No Cisco.
Yeah, and the invasion forces are in Star Labs right now.
Yeah.
So
unless they put Cisco in the time vault, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who knows where they put him?
But the thing is, they also have access to anybody who's in that vault. So, like, all the betas that are down there. I mean, yeah, how are they putting people in and outside of that vault? Which character on the team could use that software? I mean, if you think about it, who, because we've got Oliver. We know Oliver would not have a handprint for that software. Kara definitely wouldn't have handprint for that software. Eobard, well, Harrison Wells would, right? I mean, so maybe it's possible they're using his hand to open and close the doors. I don't know. I'm a little bit confused about that because I mean, it would seem like they would have. Yeah, where was Ralph? I was just thinking about that. Like, he's just no mention of him at all. Where's Maxwell Lord? I mean, that's the question of the day, right?
Oh, he's Metallo. That was the cameo. That was his voice. Metallo.
Yeah. Says the metas are
Well,
the metas are in Iron Heights now. We confirmed that every single one of them is there. They haven't locked anybody else up since that happened. Is that being confirmed?
Um,
Some of them are in Iron Heights, like the larger ones, the more powerful ones. But I don't ever remember them transporting, because remember when they tried to transport them in season 1, I think it was, they escaped. Some of them escaped, so I think they stopped doing that.
Didn't they put Peekaboo back in the thing
Yeah, that's what I thought.
at the beginning of the season?
I'm almost sure that was what happened.
Yeah, and then obviously Black Sign was in there last season
Mm-hmm.
when Prometheus magically got her out.
Yeah, KL Grimm says they wanted to cut the CGI budget. Yeah, I mean, I kind of realized that was what was going on, but logically, when stuff doesn't get mentioned by characters, it typically means that they just thought that we forgot about them. Pretty sure they all escaped in season 2. I don't think that's what happened.
No, there was a thing at the end of season 1, which is the second last episode, when they are going to put them on the plane or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then the plane crashes, and then it's like when Captain Cold betrays Barry. It's like one of those instances where Barry trusts Captain Cold and he ended up betraying him.
Excuse me.
But then I don't think they get away. I think only oh no, Captain Cold's he bargains with Barry to let them go.
Yeah, Show Talk says the rest of the legends weren't invited for reasons. I mean, we mentioned that earlier. Secured Star Labs. The joke of them not having security kind of, it's like, okay, great. You've made the statement publicly now. We know that, but you didn't fix it. So where's Earth X Barry? That's a good question. He was part of the Freedom Fighters cartoon, but like I mentioned earlier, that cartoon is not out. So I think they've decided not to do it, which means that Barry may not even be canon anymore.
Yeah. And they can, obviously, because they only made a quick thing, they could have easily replaced him if they wanted to, and maybe not have Barry on there, but I don't know.
Because I think the animated bit that we got, the advertisement, was actually just they only animated that little bit. I don't think the whole thing was done, because if you go to the credits for the cartoon, they have not cast any voice actors for any other characters. So I don't think anything else has been done since we saw that one bit. Yeah. It says all the season 1 rogues escaped in between the transfer and the plane landing. Yes. And that's what I meant when I said earlier, I think they tried to do that and they escaped. But there have been other metahumans that they have locked up in the pipeline since then. As far as I know, I mean, I could be completely wrong, but I don't remember any episode where they ever addressed all the metahumans leaving Star Labs. If you guys can give me an episode number that says that, I'll gladly go check it out. But I just don't remember. I don't remember that episode.
Yeah, Barry's Jewish in the comics. They just don't make it clear. He doesn't have any Felicity moments. Mm-hmm. He just randomly claims that he's Jewish.
Yeah. Look, it says Barry's the Earth X, the leader of the new Reichsman on Earth X. I don't know about that.
I reckon they'll make it that Barry's dead on Earth X.
Could he really be the big bad yet again? I mean, I think that would be a bit
they won't
much.
do that. I reckon they'll make him that he's dead on Earth X. I reckon he would have been in one of those camps or one of those prisons and he would have died. And either the Ray or Win is going to recognize him and go, oh, your doppelganger's sort of dead.
That's true.
I reckon that's what's going to happen.
See, the thing is, we also know from the preview that came out tonight, that was also leaked last week, that Quentin Lance does play a role on Earth X. We just don't know what it is. So does this mean that there's a Laurel on Earth X and a Sarah on Earth X? I mean,
you'd think so. I don't know if they're going to appear or not. Oh, then again, Sarah's on there, so she might recognize him, and I don't know. I have to wait and see.
Ooh, what if Barry's dad is the leader of Earth X?
No, I don't think we're going to see any John Wesley shipping this crossover.
Nah. That's weird. So, let's see. Any more last minute questions? Because we're just over an hour now, and we should probably start wrapping this up. Let's see. Don't think he's mentioned in the show if he's Jewish. I don't know if he is Jewish in the show or not, to be honest, you guys. That's something I really have no idea. I don't think in the show they celebrate Christmas, right? They've never celebrated Hanukkah.
That's because the West. That's because it's at the West household. Though.
Oh, that's true. But you would think that they would want to honor Barry's family as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't
And
know.
they never say anything about having like a bar mitzvah or anything like that.
That's
So
true. That
don't
is
know.
true.
I know, but then again, because he's maybe they just skipped all that because it's pretty rare you see someone that's adopted and they end up following their religious of their parents and stuff like that. So
Did
maybe just
anyone
didn't
care about the wedding moderator? You mean the officiant for the wedding that got like
Colonel Sanders?
Yeah. My question is, if they had a beam that does that just like vaporizes people, then why didn't they just use that on everybody? I mean, it was pretty interesting when it happened. It's like they came in, they did it. Was that
Fried
supposed
chicken.
to be heat vision? Somebody said it was supposed to be heat vision, but I've never seen heat vision vaporize a person.
Yeah, if it was heat vision, it probably just would have gone straight through him. Like, would it just have a hole in his chest? Probably. I don't know if it would make him just
See,
crumble.
Preston says that was Supergirl. That's what several people said, but I've never seen it vaporize someone. Like, the beam hit, and then his whole body vaporized. It wasn't like it just wounded him.
It's almost like that movie, Mars Attacks. When they
Yeah,
like
that's exactly what I was thinking about when that happened. I was like, or the aliens with the fish bowls on their head. I was like, are they going to come out somewhere? Static Vortex, that was very cruel of him to say that. I wish your parents could have seen this. I was like, that's not an endearing line. That sounds kind of savage to me for him to say that.
Yeah.
It's almost like a villain saying that. No, I think Kara's heat vision has always been blue on the show, right? I think it's always been blue. It's just the first season. Because I remember a lot of people complained about that, about the fact that her heat vision was not red. How much red tornado do you think we'll see? Well, Ricochet, if it is a person in a suit, we'll probably see them quite a bit. If it's all CGI, probably the same amount of time that we saw Metallo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why does everybody go for hand-to-hand combat when they have weapons? Why don't they use them?
I face palmed a while and like the Earth X soldiers like sprinting up with MP4s in their hands, like shoot your gun.
Yeah, that was kind of weird too. Yeah, I've tried. It's like I nitpick so much. I try to overlook things that are kind of iffy, but I agree with you on that one. It was blue, and then they cut over to Overgirl. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Preston. I'm not saying that it wasn't Overgirl. I'm just saying that I've never known the beams to do that. To basically disintegrate something. That's not really how heat vision works. But maybe maybe hers have been supercharged because of her, exposure to solar radiation. This brings up a good question though. If she is that charged up with solar radiation, shouldn't she be way more powerful than Kara is? I mean, isn't that the thing?
Yeah, like when they're having their heat ray battle, like she should have won easily. She should have just gone straight and hit Kara again.
Right.
In the head.
No, Braden, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed all 2 hours of it. Yeah,
nothing's
Mugdoll says Oliver's Kryptonite arrow. Yeah, that was very Batman to me.
I liked how it was covered. I'm assuming it was covered in lead, so they wouldn't be able to tell. So then it opened up and just revealed it.
Yeah,
so I'm assuming it was covered in lead.
Yeah, she caught the Kryptonite arrow, which I thought was kind of weird, and then broke it in half, like right in front of them. One of the things is from the comic books, I didn't think other Kryptonite from other Earths worked on every Superman character. Like, if I remember correctly, if you come from Earth 2 to Earth 1 Kryptonite does not work on Earth 2 Superman. This is speaking totally generally. Like, I realize they have different names. But say, for example, you were Superman from Earth 25 and you came to Earth 1. That Kryptonite would not work on you. You'd have to get Kryptonite from Earth 25. But for the sake of the TV show, they probably are just like, it's Kryptonite. It works on all Kryptonians. End of story. Firestorm drama made me cry. It was that Firestorm out in, again, we got to wrap this up. I keep saying that, but it's so much to talk about. The Firestorm stuff between Jackson Stein with just those two characters was some of the best storytelling that those characters have ever had. Probably the best they've ever had was in this week's episode. Yeah, I think Ultraman is allergic to blue kryptonite. Yeah, see, it's toxic to different kryptonite from specific Earths are toxic to their Kryptonians. It says even though Overgirl is dying, why does it hurt her? I mean, the whole problem with her and all. Did the kryptonite have something to do with it? And where did Oliver get kryptonite? We talked about Oliver getting kryptonite earlier. But as far as like Supergirl being hurt, do you mean from the radiation stuff or from the arrow itself? Do we think there's an actual multiverse? You mean like IRL multiverse. Scientists seem to think so. I don't have much information to back up my claims, but I would like to think there's a multiverse.
Earth 2 Eric.
Yeah. I was gonna
He
make
doesn't get demonetized.
I was actually gonna make a channel called Earth 2 News and just make like stories up. Like like you know what I mean? Like report on stuff that did like this past week the Green Lantern movie came out and it was amazing, and so it's like just make stuff up. But then I decided it would take away from time on my regular channel. I don't want Firestorm to break up. Well, my biggest complaint about Firestorm for the last 2 seasons has been that they don't use him. And I'm like, if you don't use him, why do you have him? A really good example is Firestorm has the ability to transmute objects. When is the last time he's used that ability since Doom World? I mean, he didn't use it all through that season until Doom World, and he hasn't used it since. Is Ronnie Red Tornado? I don't think... Robbie Amell was not filming during the crossover, so I don't think he is.
He was in Vancouver for like 1 day.
Yeah.
Like around, not I was in the middle, but it was around that time. So
maybe Deathstorm is the leader over on Earth X. I mean, how was she in pain at the end of the episode? How'd she collapse? And did the Kryptonite have anything to do with it? Oh, okay. So in case you guys missed it, she has been saturated with solar radiation, and she's done it so much that it's actually killing her now. So she's in pain from that. She's constantly in pain from that affecting her. So that's why it wasn't the Kryptonite at the end of the episode. I like how Firestorm randomly got his white eyes back now. Yeah. Firestorm is hit or miss. They just like the fact that when he turns into Firestorm, he's not supposed to be able to turn the flames off of his head. But in order to save money, we get scenes of him in his costume with no flames on at all. So, you know, there's an actual Earth where Justice League was a masterpiece. You know what, Ashley? I like the way you think. What I don't like about Legends is that Nate's powers always seem to be neutralized for some reason. I feel like they're cutting costs by not having him use his powers. You're absolutely right. Both of those statements are true. It says Superman becoming pure energy from All-Star Superman due to exposure to solar radiation. Yeah, I remember. That's been a long time since I saw that. But there's like what is the Superman called? Is it Superman Prime? The Superman that lived inside the sun. He's like the most powerful Superman, other than Superboy Prime. Oh, it's Superman Prime. Superman Prime and Superboy Prime, but they're 2 different characters. Superboy Prime is the one that wanted to like destroy everything, and Superman Prime was the one that lived inside the sun. Oh, Superman 1 million. That's the one I'm thinking of. You're right, Ricochet. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. I was saying Superman 1, and I forgot the million. The Superman 1 million. But yeah, so apparently the show has a different direction they're taking, is what I was getting at, is that the Superman from the comics could actually live inside the sun. But we know that, at least from Supergirl, that Supergirl cannot fly in the vacuum of space, right? As soon as she gets out of Earth's atmosphere, she's basically just floats around like a piece of debris. Didn't that happen at the end of season 1? When she took the Fort Ross up into space? And she basically got stuck in the upper atmosphere?
I've tried to purge season 1 in my brain. I can't remember anything from season 1.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. So, yeah. I don't think she could actually fly in space, which is interesting. It says, I think CW doles out the CGI budget based on viewers. Flash has a lot more CGI than other shows. Yeah, but Flash, actually, as much as I love the show, has a lot of bad CGI in it. Early episodes in the season with the full-on CGI models of Barry as the Flash were pretty lackluster. So Preston says, I don't remember that, but I'll trust you. Well, if you go back and you want to double check, just watch the last episode of season 1. And I believe that's when it happens. She takes Fort Ross, she flies it into space and to save the Earth from it exploding. And then she's just kind of stuck there. I think that's it. I think it's the last episode of season 1.
How did she get down?
They took a ship up to get her, I think. It might have been the space shuttle. It might have been. I think it was. No, Alex. That's it. Yeah, Alex had to rescue her. So I'm right. Yeah, it was.
I just remember. Yeah, I just remember the end of season 1 was when Mono's ship crashes, and then that's like the cliffhanger.
But we're going off on a completely different tangent now, so we're not going to talk about season 1 Supergirl. Yeah, it's just. Who else wants to see a speedster beat up Overgirl? I think we're going to see a lot of that in the next 2 episodes. So anyway, we are at 1 hour and 28 minutes, about 28 minutes longer than I wanted to go. But you guys have been so great chatting with us. We're going to be on, or at least I'll be on tomorrow night. If Paigey wants to chat, we'll do another live stream afterwards.
Yeah, it'll be play by ear. I got to pack before I go.
Right. If Paigey's not on, I'll still be on to chat with you guys. I know it's not as great as having both of us, but I'll be here.
I'll be here in spirit if I'm not here.
Right. But I'm sure he'll be doing his double video for tomorrow. You guys will hear all of his opinions and stuff like that. But tomorrow morning you'll have my review of night 1 of Crisis. Of course, it'll be very general in the way I review, but I will talk about some stuff on there that I did not talk about here. So you definitely want to check that out. And I will see you guys tomorrow night. Before I go, people were asking me what happened to my Legends video from last week, my Legends review. Are you ready for this, Paigey? It's DJ Eric versus YouTube yet again. So I did my Legends review, and I talked about a certain war. And because of that, the video set in yellow status for 4 days. 4 days. So I took it down, I re-recorded it, I uploaded it, and I didn't mention that at all, and it's still set in status. Today, I was like, you know what? We'll just I'll cover that in this week, since I have so much free time, because I'm reviewing 2 episodes instead of 4, so I have a lot of free time. So I will talk about that episode this week sometime, because it doesn't really have any effect on what's going on right now. So I can cover that later. I know it's really late, but everybody wanted me to talk about it because of Gorilla Grodd, so I'll do that. Let's see. Firestorm, Ragman in the same boat. They're so powerful, the shows don't know what to do with them. I will agree with that. Ragman is a character that I was so sad to see him go. But if you think about the show he was on, he was basically Superman on Arrow. So why does YouTube keep bashing you up? Well, if you're not paying attention, YouTube is having a lot of problems right now. And they're just going after everything. They're putting a broad blanket on all of its problems. So that's why I had to change the name of my Monday videos, and that's why I'm gonna have to change the name of my reviews. I think I'm just gonna call my reviews Let's Talk Reviews, because I don't really have any other flashy thing. Ryan, I am gonna review The Runaways. Look for that this week. After tomorrow's episode, I'm gonna review the first 4 episodes. So look for that this week. I got plenty of free time this week, so I'm gonna catch up and do a bunch of stuff. Anyway. We will talk to you guys later on. Thank you so much for stopping in and chatting with us. We really enjoyed the crossover first 2 episodes. I can't wait till tomorrow night. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to the Legends episode, because, of course, that's going to wrap everything up, and I'm excited to see where it's going to go. And I really hope, based on what happened with Olicity tonight, that what's supposed to happen on that episode does not happen. You know what I'm talking about, Paigey, because we talked about this already.
Yeah,
I think it's leading up to that, though. I think so.
Oh yeah, As soon as I watched the first episode, I was like, yeah, it sounds like that thing was true. It definitely sounds like that thing was true.
So that's a good idea, Ashley. I may consider that Reloaded reviews, but they might think I'm talking about guns at that point, and they'll be like, oh, he's talking about guns. So
they might think you're a gun channel calling Eric Reloaded.
Oh yeah, it's after 12. It's after 12. So yeah, Runaways episode 4 is out now. Yeah, so I'm gonna watch that, and then I'm gonna do my review of the first 4 episodes of Runaways, and then I will do them every week after that. So you guys look forward to that. Anyway, guys, take care. Have a great night. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Maybe Paigey will, if he's got time. If not, I'll be here. So we'll see you guys then. Take care.
Farewell.